Welcome to 2023. In this video, I'll be diving into Ottawa's real estate stats for 2022. We'll talk about condos and freehold residential property. If you're a tenant or a landlord, you'll want to stick around till the end because I'll be covering rental properties. Let's dive into it. My name is Roch St-Georges. I am a real estate broker in Ottawa. I help families and individuals with the purchase, sell, or rental of real estate in the city. It's been an eventful year for housing here in Canada. We saw the Bank of Canada rapidly increase their benchmark rate, which in turn increased mortgage rates. The financing environment changed, which softened the market. Now, feel free to pause the video to look at some of these charts and graph. You may even want to do print screens if you want to come back to them later. First off, there's a lot less properties selling each week. The green line in the graph shows us that the number of sales per week are currently below 2019, 2020, and 2021 levels. Sales really started to drop in Q2 around May of 2022. Average sales price per week for both residential and condominium is now below 2021 levels as seen in the graph on the screen, and we're fast approaching 2020 pricing. Average sale prices also started to drop at the beginning of Q2. The price correction has been more evident for freehold residential properties, where 2022 prices shown in green is now sitting at 2020 price levels. Condo prices, on the other hand, seem to be holding off better as we are chopping at or below 2021 levels. The spring market is only a few months away, which normally means more people looking to move. Inventory could go even higher if interest rates continue to rise and stick around for a long period of time. More listings with fewer buyers will likely translate into decreases in sale prices. Let's dive into the condo stats. Ottawa saw a total of 3,780 condo sales in 2022, down 24.1% from 2021 levels when we saw 4,982 sales. Bear in mind, 2021 was a year with unbelievably low interest rates, which really fueled the housing market. It's a bit of an outlier when we look at historical rates and stats. 24.7% of residential properties sold in Ottawa during 2022 were condos. This is on par with 2021 when we saw condos represented 24.5% of residential properties sold in the city. The average condo sale price in 2022 was $453,000. When compared to 2021, the average price of condos is up 8.1%. If you prefer to look at median sell price, we can do that. Many prefer this as sometimes the average prices get skewed by sales of very expensive properties. As a reminder, median sell price is the price at which 50% of transactions were done above that price, and then the other 50% of transactions were done below the price. So the median condo sell price in 2022 was $424,000, up 7% over 2021. Now, the sell price to list price ratio looks at what the sellers were asking for the properties and what the buyers ended up paying for them. Over the year, the sell to list price ratio changed drastically as interest rates were rising and fewer buyers were looking to purchase. Sellers had to reduce their asking price if they wanted to sell in the softening market. In March, condo sellers were getting on average 109.5% of their asking price. In December, they were receiving an average of 96.5% of their asking price. So how long did it take to sell condos in Ottawa? The table shows us the continuous days on market, CDOM. It's the number of days it takes for a property to sell once listed. It takes into account properties that may have been delisted and relisted after a price drop. In 2022, condos took an average of 26 days to sell, up from 24 days in 2021. However, because the market weakened, we saw the number of days on market change throughout the year. In December, we saw condos take 65 days to sell, up from the 14 to 18 days we saw in March and June. Here's a chart showing 2020, 2021, and 2022 median price levels for condos each month. We can see we hit a peak median price of $462,000 in March, and we've been dropping to $385 in December. That's a $77,000 loss to the median sell price. Let's check inventory levels for condominium properties. At the end of December, we were sitting at 4 months of inventory, up from 1 month of inventory in January to May. Before I touch on freehold properties, if you are enjoying the video and the information in the video so far and you learned something and would like to see more of these types of video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Also, be sure to comment in the comment section if you'd like me to cover a certain topic in my next video. Now the freehold properties. Ottawa saw a total of 11,508 residential freehold sales in 2022, down 24.8% from 2021. Once again, bear in mind that 2021 was an exceptional year fueled by incredibly low interest rates and many other government stimulus programs. Of all residential properties sold in 2022, 75.3% were freehold residential units. Once again, this is on par with 2021 when we saw 75.5% of properties sold that were freehold units. The average residential freehold sell price in 2022 was $769,000, an increase of 7% over last year. Now, the sell to list price ratio for residential freehold properties, in January, sellers were getting 106.3% of their original asking price. In December, that had dropped to 95.6% of their asking price. So how long did it take to sell freehold properties in Ottawa? Let's look at the chart showing the continuous days on market, CDOM. So this shows the stats per month. In December, we saw properties take 57 days to sell, up from around 18 to 20 days between February and June. Let's check the inventory levels for all freehold properties. At the end of December, we were sitting at 4 months of inventory, up from 1 month of inventory at the beginning of 2022. The average residential freehold property prices are down 24.9% from their peak in March. Looking at the median residential freeholds sell price, we're now down 23% from their peak. Here's a chart showing 2020, 2021, and 22 median price levels for freehold residential properties each month. We can see we hit a peak median price of $750,000 in March, and we've dropped to $462,000 in December. That's a $173,000 loss to the median price. The drop from the peak in the median sell price was much bigger for freehold residential properties than condo properties. As a reminder, condos dropped 16.7%, whereas freehold units saw a drop of 23% from the peak. What we must take into account is that if we look at where prices of freehold properties were in February of 2020, which is the post-COVID lockdown and government stimulus, the average Ottawa freehold property was $252,000. At its peak in March 2022, freehold properties had reached $792,000. That's a 58.7% rise in home prices in just 2 years. A 24.9% drop doesn't seem that bad when looking at it from that point of view. On the other hand, condo prices were an average of $344,000 in February 2020. Ottawa condo prices reached a peak in March of 2022 when the average condo was $473,000. This is a 37.6% increase in condo prices once again in just 2 years. A drop of 9.8% at this time doesn't seem all that bad. The bad news for homeowners is that housing prices are still likely going to be correcting well into 2023 with further projected rate hikes from the Bank of Canada. And rates are likely going to be staying elevated for some time. I'll be talking about 2023 real estate market outlooks in a future video, so be sure to hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss this. Now, the Ottawa rental market. We saw a total of 6,147 properties rent through the local MLS. This is up 26.5% when compared to 2021. The average rental price was $2,550, up 1.2% from 2021. The median rental price was $2,380, up 3.3% from 2021 levels. Now, the average rental prices are down 6.5% from their peak in May when we hit an average of $2,654. Ottawa's rental inventory has been improving slightly over the last few months, which is good news for tenants. We now have about 2.5 months of rental inventory on the Ottawa Real Estate Board. Looking at the days on market, rental properties in December took an average of 34 days to rent out, up from 24 and 23 days in August and September. It's somewhat normal to have a slower rental market as we enter the slowest part of the year, which is tends to be slower in the winter time. Here's a chart showing that at the end of December, we're now at 2.5 months of rental inventory in Ottawa. That's up from about 1 month of inventory between May and August. That's all for me. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed your holidays. If you're in the market to buy a property or sell a property in the coming months, or if you're a landlord looking to fill a vacancy, you and I should talk. You can reach out to me using the information on the screen. If you like the video and want to be kept informed about the Ottawa real estate market, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you know somebody that would benefit from seeing this video covering stats from last year, please be sure to share it with them. Si vous aimeriez discuter d'achat, de vente ou de location de propriété ici à Ottawa, n'hésitez pas de me rejoindre en utilisant l'information à l'écran. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. Ciao.